Moonlight was, I think, in its incredible subtlety, one of the most beautiful films that has stayed with me forever, or since I've seen it. Excuse me. Uh, it the only parallel. There are a few parallels, but the only parallels, there's two that I could tell you. One is insignificant, which is the colors that you saw in Moonlight were very similar to the colors that you saw in Critical Thinking. So that is by coincidence, by the way, but it just is. The other parallel is that a lot of the people that worked on Moonlight worked on the film, whether it was cameramen or crew or extras or whatever. And I think what happened is because of when the governor of Florida at the time, Rick Scott, took the incentives away from Florida film and TV industries, everybody started making their films in other places, Puerto Rico, Atlanta, and everywhere else. So when we filmed Critical Thinking in the end of 2018, December, there were no other films made that year. We were the only one, which was kind of sad, but it was memorable. And like I said, Moonlight had no effect in the sense that it was just another Miami film, but it's really one of the most beautiful films. And I feel like you have to watch it a few times to actually get the real message. But it's if I, interestingly that you mentioned that, John is an NYU alum, and so is the star of Moonlight. So NYU Tisch has a series called At Home with, ... So they did At Home with the star of Moonlight, and then they did an At Home with John, where it was a Zoom, and I was on it, John was on it, and another one of our producers was on it. And it was just nice to have two films from Miami, big films from Miami that are part of the NYU alumni, NYU Tisch alumni catalog, I guess, for lack of a better word. So Moonlight was a catalyst for finding crew and other important people that helped make Critical Thinking easier to make. Funding had nothing to do with it. Our funding is a completely separate situation. We actually had our funding in place, so it had nothing to do with funding. So no, it did not actually help. We didn't need the help with that, thank God, which is an anomaly, doesn't happen. But in this case it did. But it definitely opened up a lot of avenues for us, so we could use on purpose the same people that worked, as many of the same people that worked on Moonlight, to work on Critical Thinking as well.